I've seen many people talk about paying off their PTPTN loan early. Some people even want to withdraw from their EPF just to pay it off. But with an interest rate of only 1%, is it worth it to do so? The short answer is no, but let me explain how you can earn more money just by paying it off monthly on your normal schedule. I'll also cover whether it's worth it to make a full payment since in Budget 2024, the government announced that we're going to get a 10% discount if we make a full or half payment on our PTPTN loans. PTPTN is actually one of the best loans out there for Malaysians. It's so good that in my opinion, even if you don't need the cash for your education, it's still worth it just to take the loan because the interest rates are so low at only 1%. If we compare this to, let's say, a car loan, that's usually 3 to 4%. If we compare a personal loan, that's like 8-10% usually, it can even go 15 to 18%. And even ASB financing, it's around 4% plus. So PTPTN is extremely good, and that's actually one of the reasons why I think it's not worth it to pay it off so early. But you should still pay it back lah. Think about the future generations, right? In today's video, I'm going to be talking about how you can maximize your returns from the PTPTN loan, but the legit way, as in we're actually going to pay it back, because technically the highest return you can make is to just don't pay off your PTPTN loan, but I am really against that. We took on the loan, we knew we had to pay it back, so we should be responsible. We've already benefited just by being Malaysian. We got a 1% education loan. If you compare to Americans, for example, their government education loan is 5.5%, and they take it from a private lender, it will be like, 15-18%. Be responsible, pay off your PTPTN loans, but this is how you can maximize it. So is it worth it to withdraw your EPF just to pay back your PTPTN early? The first thing that we got to know is that the 1% interest rate that I was talking about, it's a simple interest rate. So we got to convert that into an effective interest rate so you can do a good comparison. So my loan, as an example, I took a 30,000 ringgit loan and it'll be paid off over 15 years. So I put that into a calculator and it shows that my effective interest rate is 1.9%. So this will vary depending on your loan tenure. Generally, the shorter your loan is, the higher the effective interest rate will be, but it won't be such a huge difference. I checked, even if your loan is 5 years, your effective interest rate will only be 1.94%. Now let's compare this to how much EPF has given us over the last 10 years. If you're on the conventional plan, then every single year, EPF has given us a return of over 5%, whereas if you chose the Sharia compliant option, you would still be at 4.75% at the lowest, and that was last year. So this is a very obvious example of how EPF is giving us a higher return on our investments compared to what interest we pay to PTPTN. So generally, it's not worth it to do this. So the only reason that I would say it's worth it to take out your EPF money to pay for your PTPTN loan early is if you're really struggling with your monthly cash flow and you can't make your payments. So let's say if you have to take on personal loans, credit card debt just to survive on a month-to-month basis, then yes, maybe it is worth it. Take out your EPF, pay off your PTPTN, you don't have to worry about monthly payments anymore. But I would say use this as a real last resort. EPF is our money for retirement, so as best as we can, we don't want to touch it. So coming up, I'll be talking about a plot twist. In Budget 2024, the government announced a discount on your PTPTN loans, so is it worth it to pay it off early? Then after that, I'll talk about how you can maximize your returns on this PTPTN loan. So drop a like on this video if you're enjoying it so far. Back to the Budget 2024 discount. So the government announced that if you make a full or half payment on your PTPTN loan from now until the 31st of March 2024, you're going to get a 10% discount. Is it worth it? Well, it only depends on one thing, and that is your loan tenure. So if your remaining loan tenure is shorter, generally it is more worth it to take advantage of this discount. The reason is simple. The longer your remaining loan tenure, the more you can benefit from the differential in interest rates. So let's go back to the EPF example. For simplicity, let's say EPF is giving us 5% a year, whereas the effective interest rate of PTPTN loan is 2%. So this means that every year we're making a 3% profit, and obviously the longer this can go on for, the better it is. So I did a quick back of envelope calculation, and I think that if your PTPTN loan has less than 4 years on it, then go ahead, pay it all off, take advantage of the 10% discount. But if your loan is anything more than that left, if it's more than 4 years, then just continue paying it off monthly. I know this sounds a bit weird because usually with a shorter loan tenure, it means that your loan balance is now smaller. So why wouldn't we want to take advantage of a 10% discount if you have a larger loan balance? Obviously, we want a 10% discount on 10,000 ringgit rather than 10% discount on 1,000 ringgit, right? This is a bit complex, but just trust me, it's math. Now that we've gotten that all out of the way, what should you do if you've saved up an amount of money to pay off your PTPTN loan, but now that you've watched this video, you don't think you should pay it off early anymore? What can you do to maximize your returns? It's simple. What you're going to do is you're going to take the entire amount of cash and you're going to invest it into something that's low in volatility and that's going to give you returns of more than 2% a year, which these days is pretty much everything. So if you're Boomi, the easy, simple, no-brainer option is going to be Amanah Saham for you. If you're not a Bumi Putra, try to look for things like Amanah Saham Malaysia. But even if you can't, go for stuff like fixed deposits, money market funds. They all work too because they all give you a return of more than 2% a year. Then what you're going to do is you're going to withdraw the monthly amount to pay off PTPTN from this investment account, and you're going to pay PTPTN while you let the rest of your balance still earn you interest every single year. How much can you actually make from this? Let's use my loan as an example. Like I said, I took a 30,000 ringgit loan and this will be paid off over 15 years. So if I paid off the entire amount upfront, I would save 4,500 ringgit in interest. Sounds a lot, right? Why do we want to pay an extra 4.5k? Well, if I use this method instead, if I use that 30,000 ringgit to invest and I got a 5% return, I would have earned an extra 15,000 ringgit. Then there's also the added benefit of having the flexibility of your cash still there. So let's say in a worst case scenario, we actually need that cash from an emergency, at least I still have that money that I can take and then replenish later. Obviously, we don't want to do this. We don't want to touch that money at all, but it's nice to have the flexibility. So to sum all of this up, I would say that in most scenarios for most people, you should just pay off your PTPTN on a monthly basis, follow the standard loan schedule, and you don't have to rush to pay it off early. You can even set up direct debits, auto debits, and it will just deduct from your bank account every single month. You don't have to think about making transfers. And in Budget 2024, there's also a 15% discount on direct debits until the 31st of March 2024. So take advantage of that. I'm doing it right now. So there's one big thing that I need to call out. I know that some people, some of you guys, you guys want to be debt-free just for peace of mind. If that's you, then go ahead, clear off your PTPTN loans as fast as you possibly can. I know that it may not be the most optimal way to do things, it is not the way that I would do things, and you may be missing out on some returns, but peace of mind is invaluable. So if you want to be debt-free, then go ahead and just achieve it. Thanks for watching this video to the end, guys. Give us a huge thumbs up if you enjoyed it, and if you did like watching this video, you'll probably like this video too.